Alright, so we're going to look at some substitution to help us solve these questions that we have been assigned. So if we're looking at questions like, let's say we're given something that says x equals 8. Okay, so x equals 8, and then we're given a bunch of expressions, like let's say we've got x minus 5, let's say we've got 4x, let's say we've got x squared, let's say we've got x over 2, and let's say we've got x cubed, and let's say we've got square root x. Okay, and I'm going to change what x is equal to. I'm going to change x to 4. Okay, so if you're given this kind of question, you're told x equals 4, okay, and then we've got to put it into here. Well, that just means when we're doing substitution, we're just swapping in the number for the letter. Okay, so it says x equals 4, so instead of x, we can just put 4 there, and this becomes 4 minus 5, which is negative 1. Okay, oops. This one, 4x means 4 times x, so instead of 4x, we're going to put 4 times 4, okay, which is 16. So this 4 here replaced our x. 4x means 4x, this is the same thing as 4 times x, okay, but 4x is shorter to write. X squared, now this means this is x squared is x times x, right? So we're just going to replace those x's with 4, and it's going to be 4 times 4, which works out again to be 16. X over 2, well, we're just going to replace this x with a 4. 4 over 2, well, that's just 4 divided by 2, which is 2. You might think it's 2 over 1, but that is the same thing as 2. Okay, x cubed, well, this means x times x times x. So we're going to just do 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. Okay, square root. So if you remember, if I have 2 squared equals 4. If I have the square root of 4, it equals 2. So square rooting just does the opposite of squaring. So if we take the square root of 4, that's equal to 2. Okay? So there are 6 examples for you. Now, I'm going to do another couple of examples. Let's say you had x is equal to negative 3. Okay? And let's say you have something that looks like x squared. Well, you might think that it is negative 3 squared, and then, well, negative 3, then, well, 3 squared is 9, so it must be negative 9. No. Negative 3, in this case, what we need to do is x squared. X is negative 3, so we need to square all of that. So I'm going to use these parentheses. So that means that we have negative 3 times negative 3, which is positive 9. Okay? So remember, you have to square, when it's a negative symbol in there, you have to square the whole thing, not just the 3, but the negative as well. So negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. Now what if you had something that looked like, if you had 2x, let's say. If we had 2x, well, that's 2 times x. So in this case, it's 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6. Okay, positive times a negative is a negative. Alright, so I hope these examples have helped you. Make sure you comment if you have further questions.